Good Life. I'm Dean Wilson. So glad you're with us. You can always find us at goodlifetelevision.org, by the way. All the interviews are there. There's a lot of power clips. We kind of break up those interviews into some great moments, and we'd love to have you check them out. If you're joining us on TV Santa Barbara or anywhere around the world, we welcome you. We're so glad you're here. Good Life is about the good stuff, and so we're glad to be here again to celebrate some of the good stuff, meet some great people, great stories, and so thank you for joining us. I'm really glad to have Dean Noble here today. Dean's the executive director of the Elings Park Foundation here in Santa Barbara, California, where we're sitting. So welcome.
Thank you, Dean.
Dean and Dean, the Dean and Dean show.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't meet a lot of Deans. It's good. It's refreshing. Start with your background. I knew you were from Hawaii, I think, originally, but kind of tell us where you came from.
Yeah, born and raised in Honolulu. My father took a one-year teaching job in 1963, and my parents never left.
Really?
And went to school at Pepperdine University and then stayed on in California, worked in the entertainment industry for a while. When my wife got pregnant, wanted something a little more civilized, so spent 13 years at the beautiful Santa Barbara Zoo. And then when it was time for a change, my family and I spent a lot of time at Elings Park, and I thought that would be a fun job, and it has been, mostly.
Nice. So you Pepperdine, you I think you got your MBA or from Cal
I went to Pepperdine University undergrad, got an MBA at Cal Lutheran,
Okay.
keeping it local. The only really non-local part is I got to work on the Universal Studios Japan
Yeah, I was going
theme
to ask
park
you about
project. It was a old industrial site in Osaka. Universal wanted to do what Disney had done. Tokyo Disneyland was just making money hand over fist. So the brand idea was to bring authentic American excitement to Osaka, which is Japan's second city, and it was a wonderful, wonderful time. I ate very well and picked up a little Japanese while I was there, and eager to go back any chance I can.
that. Wow, and you were there for how long?
I was on the project for about 10 years. The longest stint of time I actually spent in Japan was about 6 months. Mostly my job was to take our trainees, our future executives around the theme park in Hollywood, and then Orlando, only in the summer, of course, to tour them around there.
Wow. And how has it gone?
The theme park project is, I think, doing well. They continue to expand. You know, what was really interesting about the property is we had the movies, but because it was a new territory, Universal was able to license the Snoopy properties. Peanuts is popular in Japan, and then the Sesame Street characters as well.
Wow. So that's an interesting project.
Yeah, it was absolutely wonderful. Interesting side note, it was built on an old industrial site, and when they were raising it, I think they found 6 or 8 unexploded bombs from World War II.
Is that right?
Yeah, not something you'd find in an American
Wow.
theme park project for sure.
Wow. You ended up at the Santa Barbara Zoo, like you said, for 13 years.
Yes.
And we'll get to Elings Park in a
Sure.
second. But when I was reading about your background and your kind of work, it seems like, brand storytelling is a big part of kind of who you are and what you do. Talk about that.
You are absolutely right about that. And my definition of brand probably changes year to year. Right now, I think it's about the emotion that a product or a service leaves with you. And you need to carry that through from the person who's answering the phone, the person who's greeting people in the office, social media, website. And that really all comes back to what is your mission? What is your organization doing that nobody else is doing? And for me, one of the fun things about being at Elings Park was, what are the one-of-the-kind stories here? We had 2 guys from Audubon that have spotted over 141 bird species. We have a record 77 teams playing softball. We're softball central. Are you? Oh, fabulous.
Oh, yeah.
When
I didn't do that well.
But when I'm having a tough day, I was telling 2 of the guys on your team, they play softball there as well. That's the place I go to just to kind of hang out in the early evening, just to watch the people play, to see the dogs running around and realizing, this is what we're here for. And Dean, that kind of all ties back to what is that emotional component of the brand. And Dean, over the last, 18 months or so, getting outside has never been more important. Passive use of the park has skyrocketed. It was a little tricky financially because we didn't have a lot of the organized sports or the weddings or the events that we rely on, but people were out there flying kites, playing catch, practicing free throws, hiking and biking exploded. So right now, that part of the brand, I'm wondering, how do we keep those healthy activities?
Right.
How do we keep those beautiful feelings? How do we keep heart rates up and keep people back at the park?
Yes. That's really important.
Yeah. So in some ways, COVID was good for the outdoors.
Yeah, right. We all
Yeah.
got Netflix to death.
We all did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the devices can't do what in Elings Park.
And Dean, now there is the research, with the technological revolution, where they have the data that can show the benefits of living in proximity to green space. When we're very much an urban park, we're surrounded by houses on all four sides.
Yeah.
Even just time outdoors, especially for senior citizens,
Yeah.
decreases depression, decreases loneliness.
Right.
So at one point back in the 80s, some wise city fathers thought, here's an old dump that we want to turn into a park. It's going to be good because we need more fields. But now it's almost become therapeutic, a balm, something a physician could write a prescription for.
Right. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I read you said, to me, what Central Park is to New York, Elings Park is to Santa Barbara.
And we're getting there. That was kind of my elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Golden Gate Park, Balboa Park, great cities have great parks. And a lot of that has to do with the people. We have a wonderful grant from the Tobes Foundation to bring Shakespeare back. We had a family-friendly reggae concert last month that was off the hook. Kids free, adults $20. It was a total love fest. The next iteration is this Friday. We've had the ballet there. The opera was there in May. That was my first concert kind of back. And it was so beautiful.
Wow.
And I'm not even particularly an opera fan. I am now after that one Sunday afternoon with the SB Opera.
Wow.
So not only do we have the athletics, but more events, especially family-friendly events, and more cultural activities, I think, for us to become, whatever Central Park is to New York,
Yeah.
Elings Park wants to be to Santa Barbara.
Yeah. That's such a great story. Just, hearing you talk about it here and reading about what you've written.
Well, I know your son's an athlete, right? Wouldn't
Yeah.
you rather sit outside while he's playing football and look at oak groves and the sunsets and be in an absolutely beautiful environment?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of times tennis centers or athletic centers are relegated to the outskirts of town or in a cheap part of town, and here they are just in this gorgeous oak-studded valley with beautiful sunset views.
It's we've been up at your place for many a baseball game. And it's beautiful, and it's almost like a lot of the important stuff in life happens at Elings Park.
You're right. A lot of weddings.
Yeah, proposals, I'm sure.
Proposals.
Yeah.
Even who was I talking to? A young woman who met her husband playing softball.
Oh, really?
So weddings, memorial services, graduation ceremonies for preschools, and Santa Barbara Middle School always does their graduation ceremony.
Yeah.
And to be able, that all circles back to the brand, to have that nostalgia, that family connection, that romantic connection, it doesn't get much better than that. It's a really special property.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And you did the same thing with the zoo. I mean, or something similar.
Yeah, no, very fortunate. I felt when I got there, in 2005, here's this gorgeous little zoo, and I think all of the components were there except for the marketing component. And it was a great little team of about 8 of us, me and usually 6 or 7 highly opinionated, strong-willed ladies. And I felt that when I saw it, that zoos and aquariums can do more with raising the next generation of environmentalists. And my part was, I was fortunate to have a short radio show on KCLU. It was 90 seconds. If you want to know how to give CPR to a porcupine or to perform a vasectomy in an adult male elephant out on the African savanna, how to give a full body massage to an elderly Komodo dragon, this was the radio show for you. But what I felt the zoos had the opportunity to really create more than scientific awareness, but to foster harmony, especially in children, because I think that's the next stage for the human race, is getting to harmony. And I feel strongly that there's a group of globally connected, technologically savvy, bright young people that can get us there.
Huh, that's a great vision.
Yeah.
You should run for something.
Oh, well, I do feel like I'm the mayor at Elings Park. People
Okay,
come in
good.
and people come in and complain all the time.
I
Close
bet.
my laptop and I fold my hands and
Listen.
and I listen.
Yeah. Now I'm like fired up about this.
Yeah.
Elings Park is. So what is your vision? So you're what, 2 years in?
2 years in, and we got through COVID, and coming down the pike, more concerts, more Shakespeare. Next year we want to do a ghost walk where we recreate deceased citizens of Santa Barbara so that they can tell your story. But really it's going to be about partnerships. We're a real small office. We're a private nonprofit, so it's
Right.
got to be partnerships with Police Activities League, Alternatives to Violence Program, Peer Buddies, they are an inclusion camp for children who struggle with social issues, increasing the size of our summer camp. Dean, it's 240 acres, more than twice the size of Disneyland, and our summer camp pretty much consists of playing games in the shade, flying kites, playing on the playground in the shade. Slip and slide day is tons of fun. The good folks from Hearts Therapeutic bring their 2 miniature horses, Vinny and Pippa, to come visit. So it's just chill,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just, and so I think there's tremendous room for us to grow. The other thing that's coming down the road literally is they're building that multimodal path along Las Positas, and without even asking, they're giving us our own stoplight, our own crosswalk, a bridge over to the Arroyo Burro and open space. So we're really prepping, knock on wood, for an increased amount of bike and mountain bike
Oh.
traffic. So we're starting to spiff up our trails, get our BMX program
Yeah, I was gonna say,
back up and running.
Aren't they putting? Isn't there a bike course?
Yeah, there's a little BMX track.
Yeah.
It's been there for maybe 20 years. It kind of lost its lease over at the Earl Warren Showground and came over to
Okay.
the park. And that's another thing that blossomed during COVID, because the whole point of BMX is to stay away from your competitor, and it's outdoors. So BMX came back with a vengeance. Tennis is more popular than ever. Those 6 courts, I wish we had 12 right down along Las Positas,
Right.
are super popular.
Wow. 240 acres. I didn't realize
More
it
than
was that
twice the
big.
size of Disneyland. So if you ever see the parasailers, they're launching off what I call our South Park, our South Bluffs, and that's a great place to go.
Huh.
Hiking, when COVID first came through in March, a lot of families came to look at the sheep and the goats and the llamas that were out grazing
Wow.
us. Yeah, we had a lot of fire fuel that had built up, so they came and took care of it, and they aerated the soil, kicked up the roots, left some good microbes behind. So curious to see what kind of plant life
Huh.
comes back, because once upon a time that area was grazed, regularly by deer or bear or, what have
Yeah.
you. And I think for the area to come back to its full beauty, you've got to get the wildlife or herds back in some capacity to start bringing them back. But come check out the paragliders. They're there most days in the mornings and the afternoon. It's a great place to sit and watch them. It's a great little short 20-minute hiking destination.
And a lot of people bring their dogs.
A lot of people, we have an EPDOG program. You need a dog membership.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay.
So we want to make sure your dog has its shots. We want to make sure your dog's not aggressive. We want to make sure the owner's not aggressive. And so it's $135 per year, but I think it's well
Worth it.
worth it. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do people find information about it? Because you guys build partnerships. I know you're, probably always looking for funding.
Absolutely.
But where do people find information about Elings Park? Is the website?
New website launches next month. So
Okay.
Elings Park, E-L-I-N-G-S, Elings rhymes with feelings, elingspark.org. Yes, we are a private nonprofit. We're able to cover about 75 or 80% of our operating budget through user fees. But if we want to do any improvements, we really need the local foundations and the local philanthropists
Yes.
to step up. And it's a
Elings-
fun thing to fundraise for, because we really don't have any competition and everybody goes to the park.
Right. Elingspark.org.
Elingspark.org.
Do you ever grow any food?
We are working with the Bucket Brigade to build
really?
kind of I didn't know this until I talked to Abe from the Bucket Brigade, that during World War II, as much as 35 to 40% of all of the produce in America was grown in victory gardens. And so I said, Dave, how does this fit in with the Bucket Brigade's mission? Well, he said, this is about resilience, you know. And so the thought is to turn just a small half acre of the park into what I call a Victory Garden University, so that people can come over. Food that's grown will be donated, nothing will be sold. So he's working on that right now.
That's genius.
Yeah, so working on that. That's in there.
Yeah.
But there, again, we're a real small office. We really rely on partnerships, but that circles back to our brand, you know.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Bucket Brigade's one of Abe was here.
Yeah.
And he did talk about the Victory Gardens. Seems like a
Yeah,
great
they've been
fit.
terrific. I wish I had half as much energy as Abe
Oh
does.
yeah, Abe's the greatest. Yeah, he's the greatest. So elingspark.org, people can find it. If they want to have a wedding there, they...
Please, I think we're the finest wedding site in all of Santa Barbara.
Yeah.
Godric Grove it's called, and it's got, our amphitheater has sweeping views of the harbor, the ocean, and the city, but then when you go over to the reception site under the shady oaks, you can see down to Henry's Beach and watch the sunset over the Channel Islands.
Wow.
And it's all yours. I can't remember, maybe 40,000 square feet. We have a grassy area, we have a deck area, and we have an amphitheater area as well.
So weddings, if people are interested, they just
absolutely
give you a
Elings
call.
Park. Or just swing on by. The park's open. Just keep driving up and up and up until you can't go any further. Park your car and walk around. It's wonderfully romantic.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Great work.
Well, thank you,
It's
Dean.
great to meet you. And
great to meet you.
Yeah, we'll look forward to working together in some way.
If you want, come do some of your episodes up at
That'd be fun.
Godric Grove.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, please. I'll
We
come
got that
the
on
site
tape.
feed. You got it on tape.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much, Dean. I
Great to
appreciate
meet
it.
you. Yeah. We'll see you next time.